Welcome to the Movie Babies. I'm Devin.
I'm Sean.
And boy, howdy. You just want to get to this show, huh?
And now I don't. The rhythm of it is so off because we don't. Now we have people in the room and we do an intro. So
it's really strange because there's a lot of eyeballs,
yeah.
And this is like usually I like to really
do it better.
Go all out.
We're a movie trailer review show. We're talking about trailers like you give a shit about them. We're kind of breaking them down. We're saying if we like them or not. And we have a guest on. And today in the room, before we get to our trailers. Let's try that again. Before we get to our trailers...
Cut! So this time I'd like a little more energy.
Oh, okay.
You're like playing with your fingers.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We're going to review today I, Tonya, and The Shape of the Water. But before we do that, we're going to have a little round table discussion.
He's back.
About the molestation in Hollywood.
Oh, boy.
And the use of the movie pass.
Hold on. Sean.
Uh-huh.
I like that you have this like renowned confidence now. Mm-hmm. We could barely get it through that intro, and now you want to take heavy,
I'm feeling ready.
Serious issues such as molestation in Hollywood.
We've got our good friends Tasha Kern and Keith Carmack in the house. They're here, and I want to talk to Tasha about her use of the movie pass.
Yeah.
Which is a new program that you can sign up for where you can watch a movie a day. Explain this to me.
I was really scared of that sentence because I was like, are you going to ask her if she's molested people? Because maybe don't ask
Let's get to that.
Our guests about that.
So Movie Pass is a flat rate every month. Mm-hmm. And then you get to see one movie a day. Mm-hmm. No repeats.
And it's reduced the amount of money you've spent on movies this month.
Yeah, I signed up for the deal part, so I'm going to pay $10 a month.
And you get to see a movie a day.
I get to go to a movie a day. Plus, you can still use your, Regal card.
Okay.
And so I just have, all of the free movies built up now forever.
That is very tight.
You think the company of Movie Pass is making money off this at all?
Well, that's the discussion, right? Because it used to be, a $50 program.
Yeah.
And then it used to be, a $30 or $40 program. And then recently, they cut it to $10 a month.
Yeah.
You can see as many movies as you want, basically. A movie a day. How are they making money on this?
Selling all of your information.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So they're mining your phone.
Yeah.
Because it's an app that you have to download, right?
You know how many times on this podcast I've heard Sean say people are mining his phone?
Welcome to Movie Babies, the conspiracy theory podcast.
When I was a small child, my mother's catchphrase was, the internet people. Because the internet was kind of fresh, and she's like, you can't give information to the internet people.
And you're like, the app people are going to get
exactly. So if I had a lot of money to burn and I wanted to know how to burn that money in a more effective way, I would come up with a way to bait a bunch of idiots, like people who are really into magic cards or people who are really into movies or something like that. Mm-hmm. People that just pay exorbitant amounts of money for this dumb thing that burns them every time. And I would make them sign up for this program so that I could get all their dick pics. I could get all their password keychains. Mm-hmm. I could get all their demos and their voice memos and their Movie Baby podcasts before they get released. Do I? Currently? Not on this phone, on that phone. The one that Tasha's using. It's a menagerie. I'm collecting them all, let's say. They're my Pokemon.
Pokemon, nicely done.
So, are you in fear of that at all, or it doesn't matter to you?
No, I feel like the second I bought a Google phone, I said goodbye to all privacy forever.
Yeah. Sean, your point would have merit if the internet already got us. Your mom was right.
We don't care. We stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah, Google, especially with the phone, really, they just are signed into everything. So if I Google anything, then I suddenly have those ads on my Facebook. Mm-hmm. News articles about those things will come up and say, this is maybe of interest to you.
Did you hear about Facebook, too? If you talk around Facebook, all of a sudden
it picks up the keywords.
Yeah.
And Google's the same, where it's anything you do.
That's so fucked.
Yeah. I mean, so it's
The other day, I took a shit, and then the next day on Facebook, it was like, do you need stomach medicine?
Sounded pretty rough.
It's like, hey man, you feeling okay?
That would be the best place, though, to collect all the information about America's shitting, because everyone takes their phones into the bathroom. Everyone.
That's what I would do with the data mining information. Like, I just want shit information. I want to create the best toilet paper toilet situation.
Well, I like that.
So this is an intro?
Yeah. It's just an intro. We'll take anything good that came from it, and we'll flush the rest.
Why are you guys doing the intro after you recorded the episode?
We always do that.
Ooh, you were kind of revealing this is how the sausage
Why?
is made.
Why don't you do the intro first and then go into the reviews?
This is why, Keith. Keith just asked, why do we do the intros after the reviews? And it's because if it's an awful show, we have to warn the audience what they're going to get into.
You know how, like, when you listen to Mark Maron and for 20 minutes before you get to the David Lynch interview, he's like, I wiped my butt today and I got poop all over my nutsack. Like, you have to listen to that whole thing.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, you got to earn it. You got to earn it. So, my thought is, you don't mind about that, but are you worried that they're going to raise the price of this as soon as everybody signs up for it? It's going to be like $60 again.
Yeah, I have wondered. In fact, I sent them an email about it because that was everyone's thing. Was like, oh, they're going to get you for 3 months, and I read through, and it doesn't ever say that it's going to go back or that subject to change. None of that stuff's listed. So I emailed them, and they wrote me back and said, it's $10 a month. And like that was like it. There was no.
What questions do you have?
Yeah, there was definitely not like a helpful response.
No.
It was like, here's our fact page screenshot. Please stop talking. Like
here's the thing. The reality is, yes, they're going to raise the price. It's going to blow. Like the whole thing's going to topple over, and we're all going to get caught in the fire. But before then, I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
All the shitty movies.
Yeah,
all the shitty movies on the big screen.
How do you go back? Like when if the movie pass stops existing.
Yeah.
Now to be like, oh, I have to pay $12 for this one movie.
Yeah.
I might never go.
They really set the bar. I mean, maybe it will catch on like Netflix. Netflix kind of took a chance with like $10 streaming or like DVDs. I guess first even was the first step. That doesn't make sense. How are you going to make money? How the company is going to make money? And here we are now. So maybe this is the next step of getting people to the theater, because you always hear the complaints about people not going to the movie theater.
Well,
and that the concessions is where the theaters are actually making the money anyways.
But that's interesting because, Keith, you told me the other day that movie theaters are starting to consider the idea of paying more for movies that they deem
hot.
The new Avengers movie, you're going to pay $15 for it.
But the Florida Project, you'll only pay $8 for.
Right. So if the theaters are now going to like kind of assert themselves to be like, well, pay what we tell you, are there going to be movie pass movies where they're like, no, we're not accepting movie pass for this or whatever? Like, that is going to be a fuckery.
And then the Disney stuff of them making theaters show their movie in like the best like IMAX screens for a certain amount of time.
Oh, I didn't know.
And
that.
if they don't play their movies in the screens, they can't show like Star Wars. They can't show a Marvel movie.
That happens sometimes though with like at my work, you have to book a crap band in order to get a good band. They're like represented by the same person. So
it's a package deal kind of thing.
Yeah, so you'd have to do one night of just garbage, terrible time to get like the person who's gonna sell
interesting
a ton.
Yeah.
Still, there's like some shady stuff that they're like being very vague about.
I asked about if the price going up, and then if there was a cap on movies.
Yeah.
That if you literally went every day, at some point would that not? And they did not address that question at all.
They didn't want to address that.
Yeah. Well, good question to ask Jed, our resident king of cartoons of Regal Cinemas.
Yeah, and conspiracy theorist. You know Jed's like deep in all of this. Like undercover conspiracies.
He might be the Slugworth of this whole thing, though. He's like, oh, guys, come sign up for Movie Pass. We're like,
he had it at the very
if
beginning.
Jed does it, we should do it.
Yeah, Jed had it at the very beginning. This might be our everlasting gobstopper.
Yeah.
Movie pass, more like movie ass.
Movie ass.
Well, today we're going to talk about...
Oh, darn. Are we running out of time to talk about the molestation stuff?
We're going to review the trailers for I, Tonya. We're going to review the trailer for The Shape of the Water. But first, I want to talk about Louis C.K. and Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
and...
wait. We're running out of time.
All right.
Here's the first trailer. Sorry, Sean.
Next time.
We ran out of time.
If I told you about her, the princess without voice, what would I say?
Eliza, come on. Eliza, hurry.
If I told you about her, what would I say? I wonder.
Intro battle.
We just watched Ocean 13, The Shape of the Water.
The Lady in the Shape of the
The
Water.
Lady and the Tramp in the Water.
Unfuck this mess for me.
I wrote that down immediately.
What a dumb line, but I love it. Okay, Shape of the Water. Wow.
Del Toro, he's back.
Mm-hmm.
He actually finished and committed to a project.
It's a miracle, but it's a miracle that it looks very similar to a lot of his other
Yeah, all
stuff.
of his. I'm not a huge Del Toro fan.
Ooh.
I know. But he immediately drops the monster, like you can see it right away. And then it's just based on if you think it looks cool or not, if you like the movie, kind of. Because it's not actually
That's a good point, yeah.
giving you anything cool.
Right.
Like, it's not ever like, I never saw that plot twist coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Here today with our good friend, movie aficionado. You see everything from theater to streaming to
Yeah.
obscure horror. I think that's... So our bonds are strong here, movie fan. Tasha Kern is here to discuss some still kind of spooky, in my opinion.
Del Toro is kind of spooky. I mean, there's a monster in there.
Yeah.
So,
But I guess the question is he a monster?
Yeah, it definitely looks like the other guy is the monster.
Maybe man is the monster.
Yeah.
Never thought of that in any of these movies that I saw where they try to hammer that over my head. Tasha, what did you see in these two trailers that we watched to kind of summate what you think this movie is about?
So she works at a secret lab. The thing about it that's funny to me is that she's just mute. Like,
Yeah.
that's not that big of a deal. He acts like she's, like, not a person.
Yeah.
Like, most people have basic sign language, like at least the alphabet, and he never has a clue what she's saying, or acts like she could never spill the secret because no one understands what she's doing. Like, she's just using sign language, so.
Well, I wonder when this movie's supposed to take place, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it takes place now, then yes.
Well,
then
clearly
this
it doesn't.
falls apart. But yeah,
yeah.
there's like, it seems like there's some Soviet stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, okay,
Yes.
so we've got a highly coveted cleaning woman who is adopted into this secret laboratory where experiments that cannot be leaked are going down, and she's valued because she doesn't speak verbally,
Yeah.
and she's hired for this special task of cleaning the floor. And she starts this romance with a monster who's
Yeah.
in the lab, and the boss is like not having it.
Yeah.
That's what we got?
And they run off together, which in the first trailer I thought maybe was what the movie was working towards. But then the second trailer made it look like that probably happens really soon.
Okay.
And then is what happens after that.
Right. To go back to the Ocean 13, it looks like they're planning like an escape.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of those? What are those movies called?
Heist movie?
Heist movie.
A reverse heist? Gotta break
Well,
out.
Sneak the creature out, and she's like hiding it in the bathtub, and it looks like this guy's going around threatening people.
Michael
He
Shannon?
looks like the Terminator.
Yeah.
Blood coming out. His eyes are red.
So you are familiar with Michael Shannon from his other movies, right?
I mean, not by his name. You're going to tell me what he's in, and then I'm going to go, oh, yeah.
He's the bad guy in that last Superman movie.
Oh, he was
General
the Zod, yeah.
Okay, so he's been in a bunch of like indie-ish, like dramatic movies and stuff. He's always that intense, like for every.
The Iceman or whatever was where he's like the hitman.
Yeah.
Who has the family still.
Yeah.
That's how I see him now forever.
He's yelling all the time. He's just like fully furrowed brow, just shouting all the time. So you're probably familiar with.
Do you think he's like that in real life? Like, I want some pancakes and eggs!
I was going to say, how would that feel if that was your boss? Like, if you had to wake up to this guy every day. He plays it so extreme, like, all the time. Like, he's just, like, the most evil manager at a McDonald's at all times. Just, like,
Have you guys had, like, bad boss experiences where maybe not to this level where they're yelling at you, but...
I had a old Belgian woman who threw a spoon at my head the day I quit. And that was pretty Michael Shannon-esque of her. I could see him doing that.
What if that would have like went through your like eyeball and like blood spurted out?
I don't think she would have cared. She would have been like, "What are the dishes?
I need these clean. I thought you were mute."
Why is that important to washing dishes?
I don't think I've had a boss like that. I think all my bosses are kind of. I've had bosses who are like more Michael Scott in nature, where it's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing.
There's a shot somewhere mid-first trailer, I think, that seems to show Michael Shannon dead. He's got a big chest wound.
Yes.
And he's all bloody, and he falls to his knees like the monster just, like, reached out into his chest and, like, Kalima'd him and, like, fucking scorpion fatality to him.
I definitely think the monster fights back at some point.
Yes.
Pretty seriously.
But did we just see the villain of the movie die in the trailer?
Well, we see him come in the hallway when he's doing his Terminator walk. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, good. That's a good Terminator walk.
But he does have that big blood flesh wound,
like right over his heart.
Yeah. So I mean,
and he falls to his knees.
Maybe the twist is that whatever this creature has like healing power, right?
Well, because he said also that the people from the Amazon worshipped it, like
as
that
a god.
that one, or like the race of it. Or is that still the same, just eternal monster?
The creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
They say the Amazons worship it as a god, but then there's also at the beginning of the trailer where he's like, this isn't Jesus. You don't think this is what your Lord looks like?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I was like, how cool would that be, though, if that's what God
all of our crucifixes on our walls and our Christmas ornaments just had a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, it just seems like that makes the most sense to me.
Let's rebrand Christmas. From this day forward, all of our Christmas celebration, Santa is Dracula, and Jesus is the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Bride of Frankenstein is whatever.
Mrs. Claus?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Mrs. Claus.
They've been trying to reboot that dark universe. This might be the answer. Just make holiday movies.
I'm into it.
Sean, how do you feel about Del Toro?
I'm increasingly less enthusiastic about him as he completes movies. I think when I was a kid, the Hellboy thing was fun for me because I liked the comic.
I do like Hellboy.
And this is very Hellboy-esque to the point where
it looks like Abe Sapien.
Yeah, he had to say like, no, this isn't like a secret Hellboy spin-off.
Okay. Interesting.
It is very Hellboy, and I like the Hellboy movies as well because, and from the looks of this movie, I love the Frankenstein story. Like you can keep feeding me that one and I'll keep eating it up.
It's a misunderstood monster. Someone wants to take it apart. Someone wants to study it. Someone wants to fall in love with it. The monster is just a monster. Like
Yeah. And I thought they did a nice job. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but as long as the story's entertaining, I don't really care if it's obvious. But having the mute and like a black person during that time where maybe they weren't accepted, and you see the lady, he looks at me because I'm not incomplete,
like marginalized or dehumanized people,
right? And so
I,
that's all pretty on the nose. But again, I like his storytelling. What was the other one? Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah,
like that one quite a bit.
I watched it again as an adult, and I didn't like it as much. I mean, I get that it's kind of like a dark fairy tale, and it's like, yeah, fairy tales used to be really brutal, so we're going to just, like, be really brutal to this little kid.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great when I was a kid, but now I'm just kind of like, I don't want to watch this. Like,
Wait, it was too, like, intense for you?
it wasn't that it was too intense. I was just kind of like, this isn't fantastical. It's just child abuse. I'm just watching child
Yeah,
abuse. Like,
that movie is really rough to watch, but I felt like if anyone can handle that sort of stuff, it'd be like
it's not that I can't handle it. It's just that I didn't enjoy. Like, it wasn't
Okay.
like, oh yeah, put this on. It's so much fun. Like, I think people think about Pan's Labyrinth as a really fun movie because the creatures are really fun.
Yeah.
It's not a fun movie. It's very
No.
depressing, and it's like, hey, remember when your dad was mean to you when you were a kid? And you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
fun.
Shit,
Those
fuck.
are also like the two that are, if you had to pick two, those would be the two. He did the one, what made me just totally off the Del Toro boat was the with Katie Holmes with the creatures in the vents. Did you ever see that?
Did he direct that or did he just produce that? I know what the one you're talking about. It's
I
dark.
don't know if
dark.
he.
That's what's confusing. Yeah, we were trying to look at if Del Toro directed Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. He produced it, and that's kind of his gimmick right now. He
Did that with like
attaches,
orphans and stuff back in the day.
yeah, he attaches his names to so many projects that it is confusing. Like, what have you actually done?
And it's funny because those movies kind of adapt his aesthetic a little bit.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like a Zack Snyder thing where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter who directed this. It looks like a Del Toro movie. Did you see Crimson Peak?
Yeah,
So that was his last one?
yeah,
Okay, I had a weird relationship with Crimson Peak. It sucks.
yeah.
It's fucking bad.
It seems pretty straightforward relationship.
Pretty bad movie, but spoiler alert, it ends in a fucking knife fight. Like, just like a Beat It music video knife fight between the main character and the villain. And it couldn't be a fucking cooler way for a movie to end. It's like a snowy, they've left the haunted house, and they're just each armed with a knife, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's a knife fight. It's like, what a wacky... So, like, I appreciate that he just thinks of things a little bit differently, and there is something kind of, like, cool and fun about maybe whatever the lost in translation-ness of his imagination and the rest of ours. But that's always sprinkled throughout a movie that's otherwise pretty boring and, like, just doesn't seem like it's for me.
Yeah, and just pretty predictable. I mean,
Right.
you always know from the beginning whatever the bad thing is isn't really the bad thing.
It's a manifestation of your bad relationship with this
Yeah.
household.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like Shyamalan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
like
true.
you see his name and you go, well, there's going to be a twist in this movie.
Yeah.
And you see Del Toro, you're going to go, well, the bad guy's going to be like more than he seems.
I
Yeah.
think it all started with that Devil's Backbone movie where like that was like, this is my recipe. You think it's this ghost kid is like, you know, gonna kill everybody or haunt everybody or scare everybody. No, this ghost kid is like it's like all this metaphor for this bomb dropping and like war and, you know, the scariness of we could die at any minute or whatever. And it's like he's always got these like very heavy-handed metaphor
Yes.
for his horror, which I guess is like what all horror is, but it just seems kind of chintzy when he does. I don't know. It just seems funny when he does it to me, rather than effective or.
Yeah, I've never felt scared watching any of his movies, I don't think. Which isn't necessarily a thing you have to do, but then it fits weirdly into the genre.
Yeah.
What if he took like if he just started like a phony name, so it's not a Del Toro movie.
Yeah.
And
To flex chops other than this.
So then
Thing
you,
over and
so
over
then
and
you're
over
like going and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to see a horror movie. The monster is more than you think it is. It's a more of a pleasant surprise.
So the twist is that it's a Del Toro movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea. We saw 2 trailers, and they were a lot of the same beats, but they felt pretty different.
Yeah.
To me.
I think so too. That second trailer, everything in the first trailer that I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen here. They kind of showed you what happened in the second one.
Right, all your answers
Yeah.
or questions were answered in
Yeah,
the second
but
one.
it did change how I viewed the film, like how I think the film's going to go. Like, I think it's definitely going to get a lot darker and more brutal, judging from the second trailer than from the first.
Would you say you have a preference on trailer 1 where it's more of a teaser, you don't get all the answers? Or do you like trailer 2 where you can go, okay, I know what to expect from this movie?
I think the first one.
Okay.
Because the first one really made it seem like it was mostly a love story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They keep the music very pretty and jazzy.
And I
light.
think I would have been excited then to go to it and be like, oh man, there's way more to this than just that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So even though we kind of always know Del Toro has these like kind of romanticized things and like the horror elements, it's still fun to pretend like, oh, it looks like you just made a sweet movie. And then you go in and it's like, whoa! There's blood everywhere! I agree with that. I think that's a good strength of his movies is if you don't know how nasty it's going to get.
Yeah.
That is a better surprise.
Like freaky nasty?
No, like Pan's Labyrinth nasty. Like you see the trailer for Pan's Labyrinth and you're like, these monsters look so magical and like, oh, it reminds me of Labyrinth or whatever.
Yes.
But then that guy gets his fucking throat slit or whatever it is. Like there's like some pretty graphic.
I forgot. Because I recently rewatched it too, and I had forgotten how much stuff like in the human world was happening that was really crazy.
And so that's a good surprise. Not knowing that.
I like that. I love two extremes. Like one of my favorite movies is Life is Beautiful, Holocaust, and like slapstick comedy.
Right.
Let's put them in together in a movie.
Yeah.
And Del Toro is doing kind of a similar thing. There's brutal reality of war and like fairy tales.
He did that thing that you like. He put like a little rhythmic montage in the.
So we got like the Tarzan scene at the beginning where the clock's ticking and that's part of the music. They're punching the card, doing some
sweeping the broom, stomp out loud.
And in trailer 2, they did a great scene that I loved where the bad guy tips over a glass of water and that cuts to a door being blown off with a rush of like water. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that trailer trick.
I did think the editing of the second trailer was a little bit strange and like a little too garbled. The first one I thought was much stronger and like, yeah, kind of made its point of like, hey, it's a sweet movie, but is there going to be some darkness around the edge? And it's framed very nicely and it's paced very nicely and that sweet music kind of keeps you questioning like, is this sweet? I don't know what's going to happen. The second one I feel goes too hard, but also there's just some things that weave over the top of each other. Like there's the part where she's trying to like sign "fuck you" to him.
Yes.
And then Octavia Spencer is like explaining like, oh, he's just saying thank you, but they've already cut to then the monster's face like poking out behind a shelf, and it's like, wait, what? That was like that could have been its own beat. This trailer's going on too long. Like they're putting in too much stuff in it. It reminded me of a Trailer Wars trailer where like I would try to put way too much shit in it, and then I'd be like, but I have this little line that someone needs to narrate, but I only have images of something that has nothing to do with that.
I also wonder, so this has been in both trailers, when she's on, like, I think the bus, does it look like she's controlling the raindrops in the window?
It kind of looks like they're trying to play with that as a visual possibility.
That's what I thought too, and then she's all the way underwater once or twice.
There's like some dream sequency stuff where she's like sleeping. She's like laid up over a top of a bed, but she's floating because she's in water, and she's got like an eye mask on that looks like maybe it's part of a dream. And then there's a part where she's like fully submerged and the monster swims past her.
Do we think this monster has superpowers that he might be passing on to this lady?
Maybe he can like change her and so they can reproduce.
Oh yeah, I like that as a twist.
What?
Like somehow make.
I mean, if he's been around since Amazon time, does he really live forever, or does he have to die eventually? So he has to like find a wife.
I love. Maybe that's the twist. Is the monster actually is this bad, and he's just like finding his bride.
I like that idea because I've never seen that before. The whole enticement of the monster kind of beckoning her the whole time, and
it's like a siren.
It's kind of like Ex Machina. Spoiler alert for Ex Machina. Like how when the guy actually helps the robot in the end, she's like, "Fuck you, I'm a robot."
I'm a robot. I don't have. Yeah, I'm a monster.
Because you have all this other stuff going on where it's like, "Oh, Michael Shannon seems like a bad guy. He's chasing him down. Like maybe he's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
he's trying to exterminate this monster."
You don't understand how dangerous this monster is. This is what it does. It lures you into this like sleepy time trance.
Yeah, I like that. That can be fun.
It reminds me of like dolphins. They look so cute and playful. And then you learn about the hidden dark side of dolphins. And those things are freaky.
Yeah. They always want you to jack them off. Why do they?
Have you heard of that story? I heard it was like a Radio Lab or whatever where they went into that story of a woman who like lived with dolphins with the goal of trying to make them speak English.
Yeah.
And then to make them concentrate on the studies because she's like they're like teenagers. They have ADD and they don't pay attention to like the work. So she'd like jack them off to like relieve their tension, and so they could focus
They just did
on studying.
a really bad SNL sketch about that last Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, that's really funny.
It's timely.
I guess it's what everybody thinks of when they think of dolphins. Like, oh,
Yeah,
dolphins, the
it's
things that people
ruined.
jack off.
And so yeah, maybe we'll get that in this movie.
The monsters just in search of some manual stimulation the whole time.
He's like, I'll show you the shape of my water.
What else we got? What else was in there that was fun?
Should we rate this movie?
Let's do it. Tasha, you have listened to the show before. You're a little bit familiar. Do you feel comfortable letting the audience know what our rating system is?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I love robots.
I love robots.
I will not see it, right?
Yeah,
I hate it.
That's correct.
And In Space with Zombies.
In space with zombies.
Maybe if I have a movie pass.
Oh, let's put a pin in that. I want to talk about that in the intro. Okay.
And then Like a Lot
So you cool if I scream like a lot.
is you like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Like a Lot.
Really?
I'll definitely go see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I for sure will. I'm worried that those 2 trailers just showed me the entire movie except for some crappy dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully there's something in there that's new.
Do you think this is a Del Toro film that maybe wins you over? Or do you feel like maybe you're still going to have kind of the same feelings about him?
I think I'll probably always be touch and go. I also just read The Strain that he wrote.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God, it's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, it's so terrible. It's like if a 14-year-old wrote a vampire book.
It seems like his mentality is very childlike
Yeah.
in storytelling.
Yeah. So I guess that doesn't bother me usually. I don't know why it bugs me so much. I think because so many people always talk about how great he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit of overhypeness
Yeah.
to him.
He has often come up in critical things that pop up in a trailer or like in magazines or editorials or whatever. Master of Horror, Guillermo del
I
Toro.
hate that.
Totally fucking disagree. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he's made a movie that would earn him that.
He doesn't
title.
really do horror films, I would
It's not
argue.
straight up.
Yeah,
no.
I agree.
No, that's just these warped kids movies. In
It's
my
just
mind.
the
It's just
monster.
different
Yeah.
genre.
It's the monsters, because I do think his monsters look better than the majority of the monsters you see on the big screen.
Yeah, but they always look the same.
I mean, that's true. But if they're cool, then,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm thinking more like the Stan Winston and like Baker and like people that like made all the monsters looked a little bit different. Like,
Yeah.
This has got such like a. What I really don't like is the thing, and I'm glad he didn't do it in this one. But like, you know how on Hellboy he had like an arm that had like these tattoos that were just like etchings.
no idea what that means.
He had like what would be his tattoo or whatever arms are just like etchings into his skin, like someone carved, like they were scars.
Oh, I
basically.
see.
Like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did that on all of his characters for a long time. That was like a weird little Del Toro touch of like these like scarification design tattoos just to throw more design
Yeah.
on his character.
Well,
Fucking hate that.
wait till you see the R-rated version of this movie.
Where the creature has a little tramp stamp on the back. It's just like a little.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was derailed. What we're talking about. Your rating and your reasonings.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She loves it, Sean. What about you?
No.
She loves it. She came in and she's like, you know what? Don't really care about Del Toro. By the end, she was like, you know what? I love it. I am seduced by the sea monster of this movie.
I'm gonna rate this. I love robots and be honest.
Sean.
That surprised me.
I could In Space with Zombies it because I have this little hope optimism that there will be more to it than what the 2 trailers just jam-packed for us. I don't think there will be. I do think it's going to be just a little bit of shitty dialogue in between what we just saw. A lot of this stuff feels extremely labored, and then we do maybe work up to this little denouement of like, oh, that was a fun little thing, but I sat here for 2 hours and it's not worth it.
Right.
I think that's what we're going to get here. I don't like the Amelie aesthetic that I'm getting off of this.
It is very Amelie.
Yeah, it is.
It just seems like, I've seen that before. Like, if you're just trying to do Amelie versus Frankenstein...
Shit, yes.
I mean, all right, maybe that's what you want.
You just bumped me up.
The Universal monsters need to start doing like Com versus Marvel thing and just verse other entities.
What's funny about this is like all your guys' criticisms, why I agree with them, make me like it more.
All right.
Amelie meets Frankenstein. It's like, yeah.
At a time, I think I would agree with you. I think I'm just looking for different things now from my monster movies.
Right.
Yeah. But that's fine. I mean, I see why you're saying. That's why I was kind of thinking, like, okay, maybe it's I'm in space with zombies. But my pessimism persists. I think it's not. I don't trust Del Toro to evolve or mature in his storytelling. I feel like he's going to do the same thing he always does.
Sure. And that's what I love. I feel like now I'm one of those people I'm always like, nitpicking at. Like the Marvel or the Transformers movies. Same.
Right.
And I'm like, why? Stop doing that. You're just like... And then Del Toro comes around and it's same. And I'm like, yes.
All right. He's got your number.
I haven't seen all his films, but I liked the Hellboy films. I liked...
The Hillbilly films?
No.
What did you say?
I like the Hellboy films. I like Pan's Labyrinth. I probably like Pacific Rim more than I should.
Oh, God. We differ on that one for sure. Yeah.
For a dumb Transformer movie, it's the best one.
Are you excited for the next one?
No, because he's not directing it.
Okay.
So that's another thing. Okay. He was going to direct Pacific Rim 2. He dropped it to do this film.
Oh, interesting.
And the new Pacific Rim film, maybe we'll get to it, does not look good.
No, it's not.
It does not look...
The first one didn't either.
We're getting kind of a twist on the leading lady where she's mute.
Mm-hmm. We
don't have a lot of that representation. And I want to know what the man on the bench with the balloons and cake is doing.
Why? He's in like both trailers, right?
Who is this man?
Why does he have this cake?
What does he know?
Maybe he's one of the Soviets. He's a little plant.
If he turns out to be like the Soviet spy,
he's the what's the guy in Willy Wonka who's trying to bust in?
Slugworth.
He's the Slugworth of this film. And you do have like a Wonka like sweets connection too. That'd be amazing. Just like little microphones in the balloon. So it like helps broadcast it further.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm into it.
So is this a like a lot for you?
This is a like a lot for me.
Damn, spike that football. Well, I guess we'll see. I know we'll end up seeing this together anyway, so whether I like it or not, I'm going to see the goddamn thing. This is becoming like a segment now. Another quick shout out to Keith Carmack, who has also, like we discussed last week with our episode about Tiny Town or whatever the fuck that Shrinky Dinks movie is. Downsizing. Keith has been working on a script or a movie idea for bringing back the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Sorry, Keith. Looks like Hollywood beat you yet again. Keep trying.
And that was Aquaman. I mean, the shape of the water.
The haters always say, Tonya, tell the truth. There's no such thing as truth. Everyone has their own truth.
I was the best figure skater in the world at one point in time.
You call that a clean skate, for Christ's sake?
Do not swear in front of the kids.
I didn't swear, you cunt.
Who's that?
You two fuck yet?
Intro battle. The year is
1994, y'all.
I'm listening to my new copy of the Weezer's Blue album. I've just experienced a year of thinking long and hard about the Lorena Bobbitt situation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gearing up to start considering the OJ trial, and suddenly Like a Bolt from the Blue album. I'm going to reference that a lot.
Uh-huh.
Ice skating incident occurs that takes the world by storm. Tonya Harding has hired her bodyguard to smash Nancy Kerrigan's leg. Flash forward to 2017. I'm here with my pals. We're watching a movie about this same incident.
iRobot.
iRobot.
Why do they make these puns so easy for me? Tonya is a strange choice to name this, right?
We're coming off of an I Spartacus, I think. It's
Okay.
kind of like a let's mythologize this character kind of cash grab.
What part does she play in this movie? Like, did she help write it? Did she okay any of it? Is
The
she
real
paid
Tonya
for it?
Harding?
Yeah, the real person.
Okay, we'll get to the real person because she has quite a history. For the film, from my understanding, did not have a part of it, but the screenwriter, the script, it was on the 2016 blacklist, meaning it was the most liked script that was like unmade.
And it wasn't made because it was having some licensing issues.
I mean,
or
who knows why?
Tasha, do you recall this happening when you were a kid?
I grew up in the Midwest, so like we watched the Olympics were like a big deal. I don't know if it's the same, in other places, but I don't feel it here as much.
No,
No,
probably
we don't care about anything.
Yeah.
We
That
might put
was-
like the Olympic rings on our McDonald's cups. But
Yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. It was a thing,
Okay.
and I mean we didn't have cable. The only thing that was on TV that was good ever was the Olympics, I guess. And so I remember vividly the whole thing for sure. Which I think this is crazy to me because Nancy Kerrigan has had to have had like the worst human life. Like this,
Yes.
She did all this training, did all these things. This happens to her. The only thing I know about Nancy Kerrigan is that people make fun of the way that she cried
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
Meanwhile, Tonya Harding is like everywhere. Like, how does
And
that happen?
they seemingly making a sympathetic movie for her.
Yeah, totally.
So I know Nancy Kerrigan not from the Olympics, but from last year's Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, what?
Because Mr. T was on that season, so I was like, well, now I have to watch it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It won Hulu, Mr. T, Dancing with the Stars. But Nancy Kerrigan was on there, and she quickly became my favorite because she's so sweet, but also she's so like broken up inside.
Yeah.
And she's so like competitive with herself, and like she needs to be perfect. You can get a perfect 10, and that's the best thing ever, right? She's like getting down on herself, and she's like giving herself a hard time because she's not getting it. She never got her 10.
Oh.
And like some other acts did get 10 that didn't deserve it. And you could see her on screen holding back tears a lot of times, and like every time she didn't get that 10, you could see it on her face, like how disappointed
Do
she
you
was in
think
herself.
the producers were attempting to inspire a secondary act where she hired her bodyguard to take out Mr. T's knees?
I love it. How is she feeling seeing this movie where your like attacker is being
Celebrated. Yeah.
Celebrated.
That's, I mean, in a way, for a specific person, that's kind of like, oh, let's make a movie about how Louis C.K. just like violated this person, but we'll make it look like he's the hero. Like,
Yeah.
probably bad call. I'm kind of gleaning from this trailer that it's ironic that it's celebrating her. Like, it's like, yeah, well, she's also a bad person from a bad home, and she made bad decisions, and we're calling those things bad.
But she's bad like Shaft is bad.
Yeah, yes, totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe.
Nancy Kerrigan's still like, we're not celebrating her in any way.
No.
And she was like an amazing athlete.
Yeah, who then, I mean, could do nothing, right, after that? I mean,
Where's
it's never...
her movie? It doesn't look like she's in this one a lot either.
Someone plays her, which I was like, missed opportunity. Get Anne Hathaway to play her.
That
but-
would be great.
Oh well, next time. Yeah, that is weird.
We only see her crying on the TV.
Yeah.
Maybe that is such like a sensitive, like legally, you can use her likeness, but you can't like have her be too much of a character or whatever. Yeah, maybe there's like restraining.
Yeah, and I'm sure
forces
she
at work.
probably has some self-respect, which I don't know if Tonya Harding necessarily does.
Okay, can I read you Tonya Harding's Wikipedia?
Yes,
Give me the
please.
highlights.
Number one highlight, sex tape.
Oh, I forgot about that.
She did a sex tape,
Released her own.
sold it to Penthouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't stop there.
This is all after the incident.
All after the incident. So
Okay.
she basically became a celebrity.
Yeah, her PR
And
person is
again, Nancy
magnificent.
Kerrigan brushed it aside.
Yeah.
Well,
But she
Put out a sex
appeared. She appeared with a AAA Lucha Wrestling Federation.
I knew that one.
You
The
did know
The
that.
pro wrestler, I
She,
knew.
she teamed with Eddie Guerrero.
Weirdly muscular. Like,
what?
looked like a different person.
Like she was a wrestler for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Well, did you know that she had a band called the Golden Blades? Who was booed off a stage for their only performance in Portland, Oregon?
Oh,
my
that's
God.
a really hard audience to debut in front of.
That's incredible.
Oh. Did you know that she was in a low-budget action film called Breakaway?
No.
Did you know in 1996 she used mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to revive an 81-year-old woman?
Did not know that. So it started with that. She was like, I got to get my career back on track.
I highly doubt the validity of that.
You think
that
that's
seems
bullshit?
like what can we do to put this back on track?
I see.
I'm gonna hire this 81-year-old lady.
And then to top it off, she had a boxing career.
Holy shit, my man.
This lady is...
She's a Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
I'm almost... So now I'm like looking at this movie trailer, and it's very specifically just targeting the incident, right?
Right, yeah.
But now it's like, I want to go on the journey with this one.
Yeah. Well, we get, I mean, seemingly what we're getting here is one of those, like, you know, unreliable narrator stories where she's going to tell, and she says at the beginning, like, I'm going to tell my story my way, or, like, everyone's truth is different.
She's talking to the camera.
Yeah, she broke the wall.
She's going to do that a lot.
So you can do anything then.
Yeah,
Because you're just talking.
Yeah, and it looks like she's kind of being interviewed for, like, this kind of documentary in her imagination or whatever, like, at the end of the trailer. So maybe we do get, like, a more flash-forward her that's being able to, like, comment on these other things that she's done.
She's like, it's like she's telling about this story, and then it's her in present day, and she's like in a lab
Band,
coat.
yes. Margot's just playing Harley Quinn.
I feel like in a past life I was Tonya Harding.
Here's the thing, with what you just, that dam that you just burst in my imagination from telling me all this stuff, the incident is hardly the main thing anymore. Like, we all lived through that. So you got to make your movie have all this shenanigans in it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so insane.
Yeah, that she, like, this incident was just the starting
Catalyst
point.
for a crazy career in all kinds of varied ways.
What was the outcome of this? Like, did she go to jail?
I think
Because
the bodyguard did.
He did. Because that would make, I mean, you couldn't come out in the movie and be like, oh, she hired him, right? Or
Well,
is it too
I
late
suppose
now?
the movie itself is not her admission of doing anything.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't remember what the court
She
outcome was.
avoided further prosecution and a possible jail sentence by pleading guilty on blah, 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 blah. So
Okay.
she received 3 years probation, community service, a fine.
Had to go to Dancing with the Stars. All the regular probationary stuff.
You have to make one celebrity sex tape. We'll let you off.
That's court-mandated celebrity sex tape. Oh, my God. So, okay, there's a lot to unpack with this woman, this celebrity, this status of being, like, celebrated for doing something atrocious. But let's get into the finer points of the trailer a little bit.
Yes.
Good trailer? Shitty trailer?
Good trailer. I'm so into the glow mindset right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like the total glow trainer is what it's...
Oh, yeah, playing kind of a Mark Maron, just like
Yeah.
unsympathetic
Yeah.
shithead trainer, her mom,
Yeah.
in this.
I didn't realize that it was her mom for some time. I thought it was just the trainer.
She's also the mom from Juno, right? That's that
Oh,
actress.
okay.
Oh.
Yeah, she's always playing tough mamas.
She's a bad mama.
I did like that the mom threw a knife at her.
Yeah.
That was very much like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like,
since it is her narrative, we're going to get a lot of like, this part was real, this part was fantasy, like what's what. Because there's scenes where her mom throws a knife at her, she's chasing people with guns.
Yeah.
There's like blood on her face, there's like car chases. Not all that happened, right?
yeah, we're gonna heighten the story a little bit. So, do you like that in a telling of a realistic event, or is that obnoxious?
I think it's obnoxious, but
It's
Tasha, how do you
definitely,
feel?
it definitely gets confusing. It depends. If I go into it going, I know I'm going to have to see this movie twice to understand what's actually happening, because there's going to be so much like subterfuge going on. You have to make me know that I'm going to want to see it twice.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is gonna be that sophisticated.
No.
You're probably not even gonna have to watch it the whole time. The first time, you could probably take a nap in the middle and be fine.
I think the little girl playing her is my favorite part of all of this. The behind the back flip off is in my top 5 things.
You like
exist.
that? You like to do that?
I love it, and especially when kids do it. It's my favorite thing.
I wonder if this movie would be more interesting if it was like kind of like a problem child, just followed the kid around.
Yeah.
This little kid was in Gifted, that kind of super genius kid movie with Chris Evans that came out.
Yeah, no one saw that.
Okay.
I did not see that.
She plays a sassy little kid in that one. She plays a sassy little kid in How to Be a Latin Lover. She's like the little boy's love interest in that. Every time I see her in something, I'm like, I love this little kid. She's really funny.
Stranger Things figured it out. If you find, it's so hard to find like a good kid actor that if you do, just make every movie around it. Like Kevin. That's his name, right?
Macaulay Culkin?
I want to throw this guy's on you. I'm going to flip the script on you too. Because during the last trailer, Shape of the Water, he kind of takes these monster characters, gives them a new sense of humanity. Similar vibes here where there's no such thing as a truth. I make my own truth.
It's just like the catchphrase for I'm a terrible person inside.
There you go.
Taking a bad character, trying to make you side with it, give it some, like, who's the real monster? Maybe it's not Tonya. Maybe it's maybe it's families.
Yeah. I mean, I'll buy into that to some extent, but also you can't. I don't think you can, like, oh, my mom sucked, so I hired this guy to destroy this other person's knees. Like that, maybe is too. Because with the first movie, it's an actual monster against people, which I'll always be like, that's the right move. But bad people, I don't have really the same sympathy for.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Tasha. I think it's one thing. Well, it's one thing because we've seen the trope of the sympathetic monster and the monstrous persecuting human in monster movies for a long time now. For a little lesser extent, we've seen, the American Psycho type thing where it's like, oh, bad character telling us maybe something about themselves that makes us a little more sympathetic to, or at least take us from thinking that person's a monster to going, that person's a person. And maybe that's a little more fresh, or it's still been done quite a bit recently, but it's a little more fresh to where I'm going, okay, I could see that. I like that with the OJ movie. It was like, okay, well, here's the complexity of that guy and how it got to this potentially or whatever.
What's the OJ movie?
The one that we watched.
Oh, the one we watched.
Yeah.
The documentary thing.
Yeah, insights into these people that behave badly and to kind of get, like this Waco document, or this Waco miniseries that's coming out or whatever. It's like, okay, this is a horrible thing that happened, but let's get into the humanity of the people a little bit more. I like that movies want to examine a little deeper than to just be like, that's a bad guy, that's a good guy. Great, good. I think that's entertaining. But I don't think it is effective to me. I'm still looking at this trailer and going like, oh, this reminds me of like, what was it, Burn After Reading or Burn Notice, whatever the one that's like silly Coen Brothers. Like,
yeah, Burn After Reading.
Like, and like the one with Jack Black where he like murders the old woman, Bernie or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Like when idiots do heists, we're dumb yokels and we're just gonna do a heist and like, of course we're gonna fuck it up and that's the fun of the game, but somehow we fuck it up so bad that we unfuck this mess. I mean, that's just like, I'm over it, I guess. I'm not praising it and I'm not condemning it. How about that?
You wash your hands of it.
Yeah, I'm walking away.
I want to ask you guys this question. A big theme of this film, it looks like, is the mom pushing Tonya to be a champion. to be the best. Have you guys ever had kind of those experiences before with a coach or a teacher or a family member who's like pushing you in such an intense way?
Where they're really just tearing you down in hopes that you like persevere through it or something?
Yeah.
I did a lot of sports growing up, so I can relate to that aspect of this film. Coaches were like on you about so much stuff. I've had coaches yell at me, throw chairs and furniture in the locker room, all in a way to like motivate you, like whiplash, right?
Yeah,
That's a perfect.
whiplash.
So many coaches do that, but because I know what they're doing, I just like shut down. It like does the opposite.
So it doesn't work when I do that to you?
No.
Does it make you a better movie baby?
No, I just go, all right, well, now I'm just going to do more
Well, I
like
guess I'll
dick
pull this
jokes.
knife out of your leg.
Ah!
No, I sympathize more with the character who's trying to do that to other people, because I think I do that to my bandmates all the time.
So you're the mom in this
Yeah,
scenario.
I'm the mom in this scenario.
You're J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Did you ever dabble with any sports or anything when you were growing up?
I did sports, but not that seriously. I was more fine arts oriented.
No one was like, paint or
Yeah.
dance harder.
Yeah. It's kind
What's
of
a fine
opposite.
art?
Well, it's weird with fine arts because people just want you to not be successful so that you do something else that will help you to succeed. Yeah. So
live.
instead of being like, try really hard at this acting, it's like, God, please quit this acting. Please do that. You know, where it's like the opposite push. Like, please like anything that's in economics instead.
But then does that just make you like resolve stronger? Like, oh, tell me I can't do it. Now I'm going to do it twice as hard.
Yeah, I think that's what has made me want to do artsy things, is like seeing that society like kind of pans that a little bit and being like, well, fine, fuck you then. That's why I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit curious about this bit about her being actually talented enough to achieve, but there was that little chapter in the trailer where the judge was like, well, we also judge on style or whatever, and her hitting this kind of glass ceiling of like, you can be badass at what you do, but you actually have to play the Hollywood game, looking attractive and being an all-American girl and like all this stuff to be able to be considered in this echelon of what you're already actually good at, which is like, that was a weird thing that I kind of like saw when I lived in Los Angeles. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're good. It matters. These other things matter equally, if not more.
Right.
And that's this realistic thing that's a lot of people butt up against that I think is kind of fascinating. So, I mean, does that make me sympathize with the monster a little bit? Like, I guess so. But it also seems like in the trailer, the bodyguard kind of seems to pitch the idea to her.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get the notion that it's not her being like, we gotta beat the shit out of that Nancy Kerrigan. It's him going like, well, we gotta go to more extreme measures. Like, maybe we should take her out. You get Derek involved.
That was the greatest line on that trailer. I know a guy. I shouldn't even say his name. It's Derek. Yeah, I'm curious if that happened in real life that way, where she was pitched the idea, or if she came up with the idea. You know, for the film, if you are trying to make her sympathetic, it makes more sense that she's pitched the idea and she's just reached the breaking point where she's at desperate.
Yeah, I mean, it would very much make her a monster if the situation was she knows what it means to train that hard and work that hard, and she would do that to somebody else.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is the only reason to do that is because someone else is actually better than you. Tough shit.
But
I don't know, like, that's what life is.
In a competitive
totally.
thing,
Like,
you
sometimes
have to recognize some people are better than you.
Yeah.
Right.
Although Nancy Kerrigan does kind of represent the wholesome figure skating image, so it could be that some of that anger that she has from that went on to Nancy
So
Kerrigan.
she's like the Michael Jordan, and then Tonya Harding is like the Dennis Rodman. Is there a sequel where they team up? Is what I'm asking.
And form a band and play in Portland, Oregon. I'm curious what this event being sensationalized in the media did to young gals or young folks, impressionable youth who looked up to these athletes, like at that time, like seeing something like this break, like the OJ thing and like whatever, like it's times where like, oh, okay, these are your heroes or whatever, and that little like American dream is starting to like crack and open up, and like you're really seeing like, nope, these people are capable of heinous shit, and like what type of effect that had on, I don't know, folks that were working towards being skaters and stuff like that. Like at that time, like personality is part of it too. Like this, like we're perfect. We're up here. We're skating. We look perfect. We are perfect. Our personalities are perfect. We're wholesome gals. To then see like, oh, there's ugliness behind all of it. Like this is fully a fucking cardboard cutout, and it just spun around and fell over. Like when you're a kid, like what that did to anybody. If anyone was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not skating.
I don't know. I mean, I can't remember in the timeline of things if we already knew at this point, but pretty much like figure skating and gymnastics, all the worst parents in the world are the parents of those people.
It was known because I remember that was like all the SNL skits were always about like how fucked up like gymnastics people are. And
you have to stay like that tiny body size, which sometimes you just grow. Yeah. I mean, because they're doing it when they're like 11.
Right.
And you can't really help what happens between 11 and 14.
In a similar vein, too, ballerinas and how they have to, like, you see their... Hey, Keith.
That was terrifying. Keith just popped his head in the window, taking everybody by storm.
He looked like the sea creature from Shape of the Water. Popped out the glass.
You gotta touch his hand. Tell him it's okay.
Touch his hand, it's okay.
Give him an egg.
I think I had a point. I don't know what. Where I was and where I'm gonna end up.
Maybe we want to rate the trailer.
I don't really know how I feel about this. Maybe in Space with Zombies, I guess. I kind of hate the idea of Tonya Harding's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
But it looks like it'll probably be a good movie. Maybe if it was fictional, it would be a little better.
A little easier to swallow.
Yes. But I think the trailer itself was done well and seems funny.
Yeah.
For a movie about figure skating,
Yeah.
they definitely presented it in the best way possible. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Kind of in the ways that they blew it with that tennis movie that we
The
reviewed.
Battle
a
of the
couple episodes.
Sexes,
Like,
yeah.
you want to make me excited about tennis? You didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
Want to make me excited about ice skating? Talk about beating the shit out of someone.
I'm not quite sold on this trailer either. I'm going to go In Space with Zombies. I'm not in love with these type of talking to the camera movies. Nancy Kerrigan, man, she's my new hero. And I don't like that this movie is just burying her deeper. And that's on me. That's personal. I understand. That's where I got to make my stand. Like, some people are boycotting movies because, like, oh, you know, there's not enough minorities in it, or like
not enough Nancy Kerrigan.
Woody Allen's directing this movie. I can't support it.
Right.
I'm like, this movie kind of talking bad about Nancy Kerrigan. Boycott.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm gonna rate this movie. I love robots.
It's the bottom.
It's bottom. I saw this movie already. It's called The Bronze, and it's with the like real funny gal from what's the comedy show that everybody loves?
Yvonne Rose.
The science kids. Bing Bang Baby Theory.
Yeah.
Bada Bing
The blonde gal from that. I guess I don't know. I've never seen the show, but she made this movie called The Bronze 2 years ago. I think it just like went direct to video from my understanding of it.
Straight to Sean's computer.
Yeah. She's like she's just like a down on her luck, was gonna be a badass gymnast, won an Olympic medal, and then went back to her hometown and just became a dirtbag. And then this up and coming gymnast from her hometown she's made to mentor her as kind of like a get back on track kind of thing. And it's fucking hilarious. It's just like a goofy, raunchy comedy, but that's the premise, and that was done so well that I'm looking at this going like, well, beat The Bronze, and I don't think it's going to.
Yeah.
So I love robots.
So you hated both trailers today.
Yeah. Well, you sprang them on me. I never watched them, and I didn't get a chance to fall in love with them. I'm just kind of like, ugh, I don't like these.
Bleh, I don't like it. It doesn't taste good. I want candy.
Maybe you should hang out with the Candyman in the first trailer.
Yeah. I don't know. That's Tonya. You got a way to...
I'm still, like, lost on what her accent exactly is.
Oh yeah, from being from the Midwest, you could probably have a good ear for...
Does not nail it.
That's something else entirely.
No, the whole time I was like...
Is she Australian?
Where are you from?
Is she British? Like, for real, that actress is from Australia, right?
She is? I don't know.
Is that true, Devin?
She's from Queensland, Australia.
Yeah.
I did it.
Okay, nicely done. You used the internet to look up a fact.
And
I guess the
porn.
whole time was... It's almost Fargo-y, but doesn't quite get that.
I only have one accent, and it's a guy from Brooklyn. But I use it for everything.
Do it to like close this segment.
Well, I'm Tonya Harding, and I gotta hire a bodyguard to break Nancy Kerrigan's legs.
Hey, yo, out of my way, I'm walking here.
Hey, let me tell you, the truth is a thing that if everybody's got their own, it's like an asshole. You got an asshole, you got a truth. You shit out your truth, and then you gotta wipe up after yourself. That's the bottom line.
I'm not paying for that.
And that's I, Tonya.
Stop that.
And that's the episode.
Booyah! I've come up with a dumb little
Yeah.
onomatopoeia every time you say
went with
that.
Booyah?
I think I've done that one
You're
several times.
You're stuck in 1994.
I don't know. I got
Whoop,
nothing.
there it is.
Oh, yeah. Hip hop hooray! Thank you to Tasha for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Keith for bombing us.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. You had some really great things to say about the mistreatment of Hollywood and its up-and-coming starlets, and I value your opinions.
I liked when he said movie ass instead of movie pass.
That was really funny.
I don't even think the microphone caught it.
We got some websites. We got some social media.
Yeah, join us on Twitter. Join us on Facebook. We're about to hit our 1-year anniversary.
Do we have 100 likes yet?
We don't have 100 likes yet. People, okay, so I try to do a mini campaign to get 100 likes
drive.
on
We got a
Facebook.
like drive.
I swear to God, the next day we lost a Facebook like. Like we reminded someone that they were like, oh yeah, I don't like that page. We're at 98. We just need 2 more.
Damn it. That's so
Keith,
lame.
do you like it? Tasha, do you like it?
I do.
Yeah. I love your show.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, find us on Facebook, hit that like button, or hit it twice and unlike us.
Yeah. Think of it as an anniversary present.
Yeah, I guess. This is a golden anniversary. What do you get someone on their first anniversary? You get them a like on Facebook.
Give them a like on Facebook.
Tasha, do you have anything that you want to advertise that you're involved in?
I don't think so.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keith, got anything coming up? Any cons that you're going to be at? Doing signings?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's that.
I'll be at pizza time.
Just signing t-shirts. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, do you want to get into the molestation stuff now?
No.
Or
No, I don't.
Oh, you're over that now? We did it. We're over it. We fixed
We fixed it. It was in that segment that I hope you didn't edit out of the episode.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely in there.
Good.
That 20-minute discussion where we just kind of
We really hit to the heart of it.
We went through Hollywood and we went through like
Called out everybody.
We named names.
Mm-hmm. We did what Corey Feldman can't get himself to do. And
have you seen his band? Did you see his rock and roll band
when they came through town?
Yeah.
No, but I saw some video. Looked sad.
Yeah.
Maybe him and Tonya Harding should do a band.
Yeah, what instrument did she play in the band? Did you see?
She did the violin, but she used her rollers, her ice skate to play it.
And the strings broke immediately, and that's why the
That's why they booed.
And they're like, well, we need strings to play. And she kneecapped all of them.
Well, that's the show. You can catch us at www.moviebabies.com. And Sean,
yes,
when you don't have time to watch a 2-minute trailer,
unfuck this mess.
And that's the Movie Babies.